woke up not too long ago. It was something I watched with Jonah Hill on Netflix. And it was like some conversation that he was having with his therapist, and they made a whole production out of it, put it on Netflix. But one of the things that his therapist said that stuck with me is that a lot of the depression that Jonah was feeling was from lack of working out. Now, of course, that in combination with people telling him that he was fat, et cetera, adds to it. But you gotta work out so that you can get your blood pumping, get some vitality, get blood going to your brain, all of that good stuff, so that you can think clearly. So that's what I'm working on. People who know me know that I haven't posted consistently in a while. People who know me know that it's not like me to not post every single day, if not at least 5 days a week. And the reason behind that is that, circumstances have changed. I want these videos to be a testimony of, being an artist, being a creative, and still having real life situations and real life responsibilities to handle. It's been a journey and it's still going. But like, as you can hear, I got a kid. When he was like not able to walk, he was easily manageable, but now he's like running all over the place. I am happy for his growth though, because like he loves books, he loves the alphabet, he loves numbers, and he knows his days of the week, he knows his alphabet, he knows numbers up to like 20. He's only 2, so I'm happy about that. I'm a proud father, but my pride for him, I don't really have as much pride for myself, if that makes any sense. Anyways, for the people who don't know me, I'm Really Khalil, or I go by Really Khalil. I am a self-produced artist. I make my own beats. I write my own music. Yeah, and I've been doing this for some years now. I am 34 years old, even though people say that I look more closer to like 19 or 20, which I accept that. But do I feel 19 or 20? Heck no. That's why I'm getting back to like the working out and stuff like that. I have to feel better in order to do better. Or it's not as easy done as it is said. Barely have time to make beats. I go to school, I go to work. There's just a lot going on, outside of even those things. So the fact that I'm able to post music, go through the whole process of writing the song, making the beat, recording the song, going back, recording again, mixing it down, getting it mastered, getting a cover made, getting it up on the platforms. All of that stuff you can do in one day if you really don't care too much about the standard of quality, or if you have a bunch of resources available. You can do all of that in literally one day. Get it all done, but it won't sound like you taking the time and care and attention into it, So that's what I try to do. I try to put as much time and attention into my projects so that it sounds better than the last. I just dropped a song called Summer Nights, and I think it's pretty dope. I don't see the growth. I don't see the audience building. I don't see, like, you can make the greatest song ever. It'll never be found out if nobody ever hears it, So that's where I'm at with it right now. I used to have a lot of support locally, and nothing against the people who have kind of like drawn away from me. I mean, I think one part of it was they saw that, or they felt like I didn't need them because I turned my attention toward international attention. So they probably felt like I didn't need them. Plus I was doing like a bunch of developed shows. So I was throwing my own shows. I had other artists involved in those shows as well. So I was like actively embedded in the community, and it just took too much out of me. And I knew that I needed to focus more on growing outside of the city, because I can be stuck with just appeasing to the people here. So maybe it has something to do with like me not being able to balance local and international, or what, I don't know. But the result of the matter is, if I post a song, no likes, no comments, no shares, I can blame the algorithm. But I don't think that's the case. So I'm battling with like all of that, I know what I'm doing is good enough. It doesn't have emotion like it's good enough, it's not moving. like it's good enough. And then on top of that, like the stuff that I make doesn't fall within like a specific pocket of what's expected from hip hop or what people want from hip hop or what I've done before. Like I continually try to evolve, and I think that I've carved like a lane, but I carved that lane without finding the audience for that lane. I just want y'all to be able to see what I do, what I go through, what I deal with, and hopefully the other people out there that deal with the same stuff can at least get some type of courage, because like even for as hard as it is, I still try to move forward. That could be delusion. I even felt like I was losing my delusion at one point. And I still feel like I'm losing my delusion. Delusion is a superpower. Delusion is actually a superpower. If you have a healthy amount of delusion, you can move towards your goal at massive speeds. But if you have too much delusion, then you can think something is good that's not, or whatever the case. And if you don't have enough delusion, then you can just not be encouraged to do anything at all. So I feel like I was losing some of the delusion that I had. I'm hoping to gain that back through this experience of giving y'all an insight into what I got going on. I'm hoping that people get encouraged from seeing how I do things, and maybe they might feel like their situation isn't as bad as mine. Or maybe they feel like they can learn from some of the stuff that I got going on and figure out new ways to do what they are doing. Being a father, going to school, going to work, having to pay bills, having to maintain a household, and make sure that music doesn't affect, like, music can be as bad as a drug addiction, if that makes any sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a habit, and it's a costly habit. And if you are putting all your chips into that one basket, it can affect like your finances elsewhere. And if you got kids to take care of, if you got a family to take care of, or even if it's just you, if you got yourself to take care of, the same effect that a bad drug addiction can have on you and the people around you, music can have on you and the people around you. And I've been there. And I think that's one of the reasons why like I've been so stressed and depressed, is because I never want to be there again. Back in like 2017, I quit. And I quit because me focusing on music so much, and the amount of delusion that I had was an unhealthy amount. It was too much delusion. And that caused me to lose my place of shelter. It caused me to, go down this path, this trajectory that was not healthy for me and the people around me. So I blame music. I didn't even blame myself. I didn't have enough accountability to blame myself for my own demise, for me being like homeless and all of that stuff. And I would say now that I'm doing a little bit better for myself, you can only imagine how much time that leaves for me to work on my business, because, music is a business as well as if it's a hobby, then forget about it. Forget about making it if it's just a hobby. But if you look at it as a business, then you got a chance, I guess. But what I'm trying to say is the lack of time or the focus being put on making money for the household is taken away. Like, I feel like my energy is being sapped out of my body. All my creative spirit is just being sapped away, and going toward the creativity that's needed to uphold a household. I know that, there's other people that feel like how I feel. Like, you feel like vitality or your spirit is being drained and going to your kids or going to your household. And on one side of that coin, you kind of don't mind because you care. But there's a movie about like these warlocks, and like the father passes down the powers to the child. It was like one of the main character, his father was like literally, his body was being drained. Like, he looked almost like a skeleton, and he didn't want to give away his life force to his child. But, the main character, obviously, they came across some type of situation where he needed the full extent of his power to battle the antagonist, etc., etc. So the father had to finally agree to give away the rest of his life force, and that killed the father. Well, that's how it feels having a kid. you know, in this case, the life force is the creative life force that I have, like the inspiration that I draw from the world. I feel like that's being drained from me. It really does, because you want your kid to be a way better version of yourself. You want your kid to go places that you've never ever gone. So a little bit of that depression that I've been feeling comes from the fact that I'm willing to give it to them, and I have been. That brings me right back to, like, that's why I'm working out again. I used to run track. I used to be in like tip-top shape. You know, I had the body, I had the, you know, I used to dance. I used to do all of that. I was limber, I was flexible, you know, I felt powerful, physically powerful. I think having that vitality again is gonna at least give me the energy to be able to create regardless of the lack of time that I have. This kid is like my greatest creation anyway, so that's probably why all that creative energy feels like it's gone, because it went into making this man here, this young man. But I wanna try to encourage the fathers that's out there that are also artists, that it's not necessarily over yet. I'm holding on to that delusion. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully it's a healthy amount of delusion, but I'm not trying to hold on to it as much that it's gonna affect this guy and my family in a negative way. So I have to try to find that balance. And I think that's what all of us need to do. You're gonna be seeing my everyday life. You're gonna be seeing me cook some darn good meals. Hopefully I give you some recipe ideas. You're gonna be seeing me get up, and I might look rougher than I look right now. I'll make sure to and the studio is literally here in my home. Like, that's one thing that I think is important, but we'll get to that later when I'm in the studio, about having like your own equipment and learning your own skills. That really does take away from a big bill. You know, paying $50 to $100 an hour to go record one song is wild to me, unless you have a budget. So that's one thing I don't have to worry about. So I do encourage y'all to like cultivate those skills. I wish I could like make a whole channel of just tutorials, but YouTube already has that. So I think y'all should go and look those up. Or things make it simpler for me, but that doesn't mean that it's easy. You know, I make my own beats, but it might actually be easier to pay for a beat. You know what I'm saying? Like, because like I gotta sit there and I have to have enough time. I have to have enough energy after working 10 hours in a day. I have to be like present enough to come up with a good beat. You see what I mean? And a lot of the times I'm throwing beats in the trash. But yeah, it's probably easy for her to buy a beat. But I've already taken the route of being self-produced, and that's one bill that I don't have to worry about. I don't have to worry about buying a beat. But that doesn't mean that my life is easier. That doesn't mean it's easier. Anyways, I need y'all to see how it can be, how it can go with still trying, because that's where I'm at with it right now. I'm still trying. See what it looks like. And hopefully that'll encourage some people out there to just keep going. Like, way easier said than done, like I said before, to just keep going. You gotta focus all your energy on that. Plus, since I'm an apprentice, I gotta go to school. So when school is in, it's half and half. You're learning math, and then you gotta take other classes that really don't matter. Rhetoric and English and literature and US history, like stuff that don't matter. So like, you gotta focus all of your mental energy on learning and working. Then outside of all of that, when the school day is done, when the work day is done, you don't get home till 6:30 because you gotta stop. You gotta run errands when you can while stuff is open. You get home, then you gotta cook, right? So, I'm a chef of the house. We can say that my girl can cook, but she doesn't really have the time to, because like I said, she has her entrepreneurship outside of her 9 to 5. I cook, I take over the shift for this guy here. So yeah, that's the rest of my night. I'm cooking, I'm eating. By the time I cooked and ate, cooked for him, got him ready for bed, I have 2 options. I either Cause like me, I have a certain writing process and I work in an apartment complex. So I gotta write in the car. So I either go take a trip in the car at night and write. And that's if I have a beat made, right? That I feel is good enough. Or I go to sleep. It's gonna take me till however long it takes for me to feel like I've written enough, right? So that could be 5 o'clock in the morning, that could be 6 in the morning. You gotta think about it, I wake up at 5. So if I'm up all night, even if it's up till like 2, I'm only getting 3 hours of sleep. You see what I'm saying? Like a lot of times, most times, I'm going to sleep. It's not because I'm lazy, it's not because I don't care, it's not because I don't want it as hard as other people. It's because I'm looking at the logical way to keep my family fed. And I'm not finna sit here and allow my girl to be the only one working in this house. That's not gonna happen. So I don't know how many of y'all out there is letting that happen, but y'all need to quit that shit right now. Do not be there and risk giving up your own manhood because you're trying to chase a dream. Like, I'm sorry, like, you're gonna have to figure out a different way. I'm going to make sure that I have enough energy to go to work. Now, every now and then, especially if a lick of inspiration hit me, oh yeah, I'm staying up. I'm staying up, I'm risking that. Because like I said, I want this. Oh, I'm staying up. But let's talk about the weekends. Let's talk about finish my last day of work. I do, a lot of times if I don't work overtime, I do have a 3-day weekend, finish my last day of work. What do? Well, since my girl has a job, she has to work 5 days a week instead of 4 days a week. But that Friday is still, she's doing her 9 to 5 work. It's not babysitting because it's my kid, so it wouldn't be considered babysitting, but you know what I mean. I'm on daddy duty, right? That whole day. I got Saturday and Sunday left. Sunday, we can consider that like a school night because why? You gotta go to work the next day. So you go to sleep at the appropriate time. So I got Saturday. My girl also has a business outside of her job. And a lot of times her clients are scheduled when she's not at work, which is the weekend. So guess what? Guess where I'm left? I'm left with the kid again. I can't just leave him in his play yard. You know, I can't just leave him with the iPad all the time. I try my best. I try to make a beat. I do get beats out here and there. I don't get to write. I can't write unless I have like an environment for writing. But I do get a beat out here and there. I do get to, you know, shut myself in a room and record here and there. That doesn't happen every weekend like it should. It doesn't. And the reason why is because the environment doesn't provide for that type of activity. I managed to get a song out every 6 to 8 weeks, but that's not nearly as much volume as you need if you're trying to do this for real, you know? Not nearly. So I'm really just like at a point where it's like, okay, well, what do you do? My TikTok has been broken since as far as back as I can remember. It's been broken. So TikTok, nope, not blowing up on that. It's just not happening. Instagram, whole nother story, not talking about that right now. YouTube is the long game. The algorithm caught on to me at one point and we're hoping that it catches on again. But when life starts lifing and you can't post every day, well, the algorithm says bye-bye and goes on to somebody else. So I'm trying to do this again. Trying to post every day. I'm doing what I can. I hope I do find something that inspires me in a way that I need to be inspired. I do. What you doing?
Our little puppets. Hello.
What you doing?
Hear that? Hi. Today we were walking around with our puppet friends.
See all these books? It don't matter if he can read it or not. He just loves books. Maybe I need to read this. I actually took today off. Today is Tuesday, and I'm going to be using a lot more of my vacation days. I think that's one mistake that I've been making. I've been dedicating my life. I've been dedicating my life to a job that isn't necessarily dedicated to me in the same regard, and I've been not using what's available to me, vacation, get myself together. So when I use my vacation days in the future, it's going to be that, but it's also going to be to try to get some stuff done creatively. But anyways, I said all that to say, so I just got a phone call from my girl, and she was gonna go pick up a package or be ready for a package at her office. And it was a package she has to sign for. And the reason why she got it delivered there instead of here is because, you know, if they bring packages here, they just throw it. They don't care about the handling of it, but if they bring it there to the business complex that our office is in, they take better care of it because it's obviously for a business. So she was expecting for it to come between like 11 and 1. She just checked on it and it now says that it should be there by 5. Now, I was going to be here, watch him until she gets back and go out and make some content. By 5 o'clock, by the time she gets back here, maybe 7, I might be able to get some done, but it's just, that's just how things go, you know? And I can't be upset with her because, you know, she's handling her business and she's trapped there just like I'm trapped here because she's waiting for something to come through so she can sign for it. Whereas I'm here waiting for her to get back. So she's trapped there till 5, just like I'm trapped here until she gets back here. We don't plan for this stuff. We plan to go and do our thing and, you know, create, be in our element. But then something like that happens and it kind of takes you out of your element a little bit. So let's say she does get back, I got a little bit of daylight, kind of a blow, not in the same spirit of it. So while I'm creating it, it's not gonna feel the same, it's not gonna look the same for y'all, it's not gonna be the same. There's a lot of stuff I have created and posted and you can't even tell that I'm actually sad in that stuff or I'm actually pissed off in that stuff or I'm depressed in that stuff. Something just happened or whatever the case may be. There's a lot of content that I have recorded where you can see it on my face and there's no way that I can act my way through it. Hoping that the package comes by, you know, a time where I can go out and record. We leave these things up to chance. At this point, I'm just taking care of what I gotta do, doing this type of stuff, folding clothes. Like I said, gotta keep the house in order. Gotta keep the house in order. And I can't leave it up to just her to do it, especially because of the fact that she has 2 jobs and technically I do too. You know, music is a job. If you don't, like I said before, if you don't look at music as a job, then you're already losing. So yeah, I have a job too, but guess what? Like her job and her business is bringing in income, whereas just my job is bringing in income, not my business. My business is not bringing in income. I make music about it. I say that it's bringing in income and it had at one point in time. So whenever I do talk about it, I'm really referring to past events, not right now. And even with that, with those past events, like, I don't think that I made enough money that allows me to even say I broke even. I've spent tens of thousands on this dream. I've made back maybe 25% of that. It's not really sustainable right now. So since music is draining me more than it's making, that's another reason why I'm just like in the mind state that I'm in. Like, I gotta take care of my family. You know, I can't spend all this money on a pristine master. I've done it, trust me, and they sound really good. You know, pristine mix and master from a multi-platinum Grammy award-winning engineer. Yeah, he's in my contacts. I know that guy. Or engineer that has engineered for Jay-Z and Kanye and BTS and Ariana Grande. I don't know him personally, but 6 degrees of separation. I can get him to mix my shit if I had the bread. I don't. And it's not making enough money for me to take bread that I'm making from my regular job and put it into that. If I was making enough from my regular job, if I was just working a bunch of overtime and I just had the extra money, yeah, I might be able to do that. That's what the negative effects of that is gonna be. All that overtime I work, how much time am I going to have to be able to put into even creating something that can get mixed down? How much energy am I going to have to be able to think of something to create to even get mixed down? It's just a cycle. It's recycled energy. It's either going to go to one thing or it's going to go to something else. That's kind of like where I'm at with it. Shout out to all of the young artists that still stand with their parents or don't have a family to take care of. Like, take advantage of this. Of this time, please. I hope you make it. I really do. I hope you make it before all of that stuff starts to happen because that's the time to do it. I just wanted to share that with y'all. It just happened. Literally, I just got the phone call. There's nothing I could do about it but wait. Plenty of content in this house, but it only gets a matter of time before it starts to look like the same thing I made last time. And sunlight is the best type of lighting you could ever have. That's just a quick tip. Especially if it's on a cloudy day. Now you have diffused sunlight, which means no hard shadows. And the clouds are providing shade, so you don't have to worry about sweating so quickly. The best type of lighting, I'm telling you. Otherwise, you're gonna have to set up some artificial light, and you gotta do it the right way. If you don't do it the right way, it's gonna look artificial, it's gonna feel artificial, and it may not even be properly lit. It might be too dim, and it's pointless. Show you a little bit of what keeps my sanity. I like to build these, and it provides tranquility for me. And it's something cool to look at. Cars that we all dream of having in real life. I love Legos in general, but I've been kind of stuck on the cars bit. My kid likes cars, so that's why they're up there right now, because he's been finding all my hiding places and breaking them apart, because he likes to see how things are put together. Instead of risking him losing certain parts, I just keep it away and get him cars that are not Legos. But yeah, Lego is one of those things that has been with me that I neglected for a few years. I've always been fascinated with them, and I've always, enjoyed building with them. They provide peace. That's more of a therapy than anything that I've had, more than music even. Being able to create something, whether it be from an instruction manual or out of my imagination, it's something I know I can't mess up. There's no rules with Lego. There should be no rules with music either. But unfortunately, with commercial and secular music, there are rules that I break every single time I drop. And I think that's one of the reasons why I haven't gotten the recognition I deserve. Every single time I drop, I break a rule or a few. Talk about the same stuff. I don't use the same language. Not saying it's clean per se, but I've got certain barriers that I just won't cross. Mainly because it's just not me. I don't want to have to act 24/7, act like this thing that I've created. I don't want to have to do that. So since that's the case, I really do think that opportunities that I may have had or been exposed to or could have just simply didn't come through. Maybe they feel like I don't belong. Maybe they feel like a lane hasn't been carved in that way yet. It would be harder to market me, and I'd agree with them. I really do. I mean, it's hard. It's hard to market myself. It's easy to market something that sounds just like something people heard of before or what people expect from people. It's really easy. It's even easier when you have a big budget. I don't really want to make this series or whatever this is too much about complaining, but I want to make it as a testimony. So it has to be real. It has to be my thoughts. And I feel like what I'm going through is what other people are going through. So I might be preaching to the choir here. And then there might be some people that say, get over it, or you're washed up, or you fell off, or it's really easy for somebody who hasn't tried to do this to say things like that. Oh, yeah, you fell off. Well, you try to manage all the stuff I'm managing, stay sane while doing it, and keep a consistent content posting strategy, schedule, whatever you want to call. You do that. And you report back to me and you tell me how easy it is. You can't tell somebody that they fell off if you're not even in that field. Audiences, fans, they'll quickly say that because that's the thing to do. Whether it's cyberbullying or whatever, it's easier for people to do it online, say that type of things. But then again, I don't make myself that available for people to even say that type of stuff or to expose myself to those type of people. I still managed to drop though. Like I said, I just dropped a song. It's called Summer Nights. I like it a lot. I feel like I progressively get better. That's the whole point. I really like the song. It's on my page if you want to look at it. I'm not gonna shameless plug. I'm not gonna be mad if you don't. It is what it is, because you might not be here for that. You might be here because you like hearing some struggle or someone else is going through what you're going through, or some people are gonna be in the comments on some positive stuff, encouraging. Some people are gonna be in the comments on some rude stuff. I mean, I've experienced it all. It wasn't until I got into this type of thing that I realized that there's a lot of rude people out there, like a lot of rude people for no reason whatsoever. They'll just comment something rude just because that's what they thought. They just thought of it. Do something better with your life. Yeah, become a productive member of society. Do something like that. You could literally do the opposite and make the biggest change for other people's lives, but you decide to drag people down, maybe down to where you are. No matter how depressed I feel, I'm not gonna drag somebody down just because I can, or just because I feel like I can. That's not my job. That's not my purpose here on earth. So maybe the next time y'all see me, I won't look so busted. So Savannah's been flooding really bad. And one of the places that flooded is where I get my hair cut. I'm feeling neglected right now. Can't do this for much longer. And I'm not gonna go to a different barber. One, because you know the stigma. And two, because like I don't want that other barber to mess me up. And now I'm pissed off because I didn't have enough patience. Trying to wait. I'm gonna just look busted for now. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Yay. It's moments like this that make it all worth it. This kid's been really clingy lately. He used to be very independent. He still is, but he does love a good cuddle, a good hug, for us to pick him up or play with him. All right, so hear me out. I know I keep saying I've been looking rough. It's for a reason. I try my best to stay up on, feeling good in that aspect of like, looking good, smelling good. I just recently found out about microperfumes.com. And I'm by no means endorsed by these people. I don't even have enough followers on my channel or subscribers on my channel to have any type of endorsement, any type of brand deal. This is just my life. So I just recently found out about it. And basically they sell like smaller sizes of like super luxury perfumes. Like from mid-grade to high grade. So I found a few that I really like, and I just like smelling good. Like, who's to say that you have to commit to a $200 bottle of Louis Vuitton perfume or a cologne in my case? Who's to say that you have to commit to that? Nobody, right? So what I do is I buy a bunch of little ones. I can try out different stuff. And if I like something, I'll keep getting that, or I'll get a bigger bottle. But then I can switch it up. I can switch it up a bunch of times, and that's what I like about that website. So like, I smell good, I feel good, but I'm looking rough for a reason. And I'm gonna show you why I've been looking rough. If I can make it, I see traffic. We'll see if you guys get bored. Yeah, there's a little bit of traffic. It's so. One of the reasons why I can't get my hair cut is the same reason why it's a lot of traffic. One of the dams broke in Effingham County, and basically what that was doing is what dams do, hold back water. And so basically the river flooded, and it's just a bunch of places, random ass places that's close to the river. So the place that I get my hair cut, that entire parking lot is flooded. The whole thing is flooded. And the highway on the way to the next town, last time I checked, was flooded because the river runs by that highway. People's homes, random homes. And I don't know if the hurricane caused the dam to break, like if it damaged the dam or not. But first we had the hurricane. All the rain from the hurricane flooded everything. Then things started to subside, even though some people's places were still flooded. But then the dam broke, and all of that water just started washing in. So now a bunch of places that you start to realize, one, they're close to this big body of water, but then two, you start to realize that a lot of these parking lots are built like a bowl, which is crazy to me because our whole city is below sea level. So now we got random places flooded, and unfortunately my barber shop that I go to, that whole plaza is destroyed. Well, not destroyed, I'm not gonna say that. I want to say a different word, and destroyed was the first one that came to mind. Now we have a lot of traffic because people are detouring around highways that are normally flooded. I guess they found out about this side road because I stay off of the side road. So now this side road is blocked up, whereas the main road was blocked up for about a week now. A little over a week it's been blocked up. So now this side road is, because everybody got the bright idea to take the side road. I started this video not knowing about this traffic, so I was expecting to show y'all that flood a little bit quicker. Unfortunately, that's not the case. I'm headed to Walmart, you know. Like I said, I always gotta take care of the house. I gotta get the filters changed for the AC ventilation system. So I'm buying a filter for that and a few other things. We have been getting rid of a whole bunch of extra crap that we have been holding on to. There's a very thin line between collector and hoarder. And unfortunately, I can only speak for, you know, my experience, but a lot of people of color are borderline hoarders, if not actual hoarders. And I think the main reason is because we came to this country with nothing. You want to hold on to as many things. Things start to have sentimental value that somebody else might not deem it as sentimental, you know? So like, oh, this has been passed down, or oh, I remember when I got this, and whatever. I don't know. So we tend to hold on to stuff, whether it's big or small. We tend to hold on to a lot of crap. And unfortunately, we're not using that crap. We tell ourselves that we're going to use it, but in the back of our heads, we already know that we don't want it anymore. But in the front of our minds, we're like, oh, no, I don't want to give it away. I worked hard for this, or this person gave this to me, or whatever the case. Well, if you're not going to use it and a person gave it to you as a gift, you can then re-gift it to someone else who can actually use it. So that's I've been just trying to clear away a bunch of physical remnants of my past. I think it's a little easier for me to do it. I ramble a lot, so I'm gonna try to tell a short story. I unfortunately experienced homelessness, and I had to run to the first haven that I could find, and that haven was in Alabama, right? So I went to Alabama, and we dragged along with us a lot of things that actually do have sentimental value. There was this like old chest that my grandmother had. I mean, it was like carved, like it was beautiful chest. There was like this blanket as well, and then there was a lot of other things that was worth a lot of money, and we had to get a storage unit, and we got a storage unit. Things started to go good. We got an apartment. I say we because I wasn't the only one out there. I wasn't by myself, but we got an apartment. You know, we got vehicles, and we got obviously jobs to get that, right, all of that stuff. So we were maintaining everything, but then out of nowhere, boom, job was snatched right from under our feet. The owners of the establishment decided that they wanted to close it down. Their reasoning, you know, if true, was justified, but unfortunately that left us out in the open. The town that we were in Alabama, literally, like, for the regular everyday man, you had three choices. You either worked fast food, you worked at Walmart, or you worked for one of the plants that distributed peanut butter and columns. It was just a plant that made columns. So it was either one of those things, a plant, like warehouse plant, fast food, or Walmart. And unfortunately, with all of my skills, those just didn't work for me. So of course I chose the most lucrative of the three to start off. So I worked at the peanut butter plant, came home smelling like peanut butter every day, until a random opportunity to fix phones came along, and it was a new tech repair shop. I was able to be a manager there. I moved up to that position, and it was great, but they closed that shop down and left me in the wind. So basically we weren't able to hold up. So we built up a clientele while we were at that shop, right? And we tried to hold on to that clientele, but the thing about it is people don't break their phones every week. You know what I'm saying? People don't even break their phones every month. So that's just a one-off, like, mishap type of thing. Like, of course, you'll have return customers. If you give them good service, they'll come back with their phone again, or if they know somebody else that broke their phone. But like I said, these are mishaps. This isn't like a scheduled thing. This isn't something that you can expect. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna break my phone this week, so I need to go ahead on and put some money to the side so that I can get my phone fixed. No, that's not how these things work. You know, the customers, they were coming in and they just started dwindling. And then some of the customers that even came to us while we were at the shop didn't really feel too good coming to us at the house. They were a little iffy about everything, and it just started dwindling. So eventually it just got to that point where, you know what I'm saying, it was, we had nothing, and we couldn't afford the storage container bill. We couldn't afford that. We couldn't afford anything. Rent, lights, water. We couldn't afford to get the grass cut. Couldn't afford the car payment. Couldn't, obviously we lost that car insurance before that even happened. Couldn't afford anything. It was just going downhill very, 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 very fast. All of that happened. I need to figure out where I'm going because they blocked off the road. I was gonna show y'all that flooded parking lot, but they literally got military to block that off. That road right there leads to the plaza in the back. You can't see the plaza from here, but it leads to the plaza in the back. And like I said, the entire parking lot is a pool. So anyways, I lost all of that stuff. Everything, real sentimental value, like real things that you should hold on to and pass down for generations to come. So I'm very, very experienced at letting stuff go. So yeah, I can let stuff go without a problem now, especially if I feel like it doesn't have sentimental value. I done gave so many clothes to Goodwill. The issue that I have is that I have to like continue to buy like new clothes and stuff because I always have to make content. And I'm not just a regular content creator, I'm also an artist. So if I'm doing content and I'm an artist, people don't want to see their quote unquote favorite rapper wearing the same clothes every day. People don't want to see their quote unquote favorite rapper not look famous, if that makes sense. I've gotten by the skin of my teeth of like doing my best to get by based off my talent. I've gotten by like by doing that. But to be completely honest, I think that may be one of the reasons why I can't really maintain an audience. You know, it's not really believable. I make a lot of music about the life that I want, and I make, you know, a lot of that comes from past experiences too, where I had it and I lost it, or I had a bunch of opportunities and I was actually popping, and I had a lot of platforms supporting me and algorithms pushing my stuff. But then it was all kind of taken away from me based on some of the things that I was and wasn't doing, and just based on just the algorithm switching up, or based on people closing their business down. Like that's happened as well with music, you know, nothing to do with me. They just decided that that's just not what they want to do anymore. So now that I don't have that business, I no longer have their support. I no longer have their network and their resources and their tools. So I was kind of left in the wind with that. But yeah, you know, that's just what happens. You know, that's life. That shows you that you're not special. I'm not special. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like a golden child for a long time because I had so many things just given to me. I had a lot of things just given to me. My old distributor was planning on going public, but they were using me as a guinea pig to test out all their features and see what features make sense and what features work. And fortunately for me, whether it worked or not, it all went in my favor. You know, experimental, sure things that they knew worked, things that they were trying out, everything. Opportunities to make extra money. I made a good $5,000 just from them. Not releasing music, not distributing music. I'm talking about through all of the extra stuff that they had available to me. Just the other stuff, not musically. And then there was another platform that I got out of touch with, and I made another 3 from them because they helped me throw my own shows. It was really dope. I had a lot of shit going. For myself. But see, this all was before I had my kid. And I lost that distributor around the time that I had my kid. So that was just kind of like, okay, I'm moving into a new chapter. Is this like what's supposed to happen, or is this so I can focus more on my child more than the music? We all think we can balance the two at first. When managing a kid or maintaining a kid is only like the kid sleeps, the kid poops, they can't get around, the kid rolls around, it's not much to really do. Then you start to realize the more and more they grow up, the more maintenance comes into it. The more you gotta buy extra clothes. You know, you first have your kid, you get the baby shower, you got all of these gifts, and what do you get the most of? Diapers and wipes. Man, we had so many diapers and wipes, we didn't feel the effect of having to buy diapers and wipes. Even something that simple is a bill. I look at it all as bills. You can call it a bill, you can call it a subscription, you can call it an expense. I call it a bill because that's what it is to me. But yeah, we work together. You know, me and her, me and my woman, my lady, we split the responsibilities, the fairness of what we can. If one can't pick up, you know, their whatever, the other takes it up. Ebb and flow. Ebb and flow. I'm about to go on Walmart because I'm ranting like I always do. All right, let's see. Went back the back way. Let's see if they blocked it off this way too. There's a possibility that they did, but I don't know, because I didn't even know they was blocking it off in the first place. Didn't even know there was this much traffic in the first place. So this is what I had to get. The filter that we got in the house is like very basic. It's like the cheapest, you know, that brown and green Walmart filter that they sell. I don't even know if it's Walmart. I think it's like 3M. It might be this brand. But it's like that cheap one that they give to you at an apartment complex. I just was either going through maintenance, having them replace it, or I would go to Walmart and get my own. So I learned that there's different filter strengths. Certain filters filter more, certain filters filter less. The ones that we use at my job are industrial grade filters, so it's going to filter out a lot more particles than a regular in-house filter. I'm going through the section at Walmart and I see same thing. You got some filters that even filter out bacteria and viruses as opposed to the ones that just filter out dust. So I realized that my son has been waking up, and even me for a very long time, been waking up in the morning, got all this build up here, sometimes build up here. So it's like a lot of congestion, headaches, all of that type of stuff. And I'm thinking like, damn, like, do we need to check for mold and this and that? And it's like, well, our air vents could be just circulating the same bull that we got going on, whether it be dust, or let's say somebody gets sick and we come in the house, or, you know, a lot of the places that you walk, not to fearmonger or anything like that, but a lot of places that you walk, if you walk in your house with those same shoes, you're tracking bacteria and viruses throughout your house. So if you're not, you know, always mopping your floors or vacuuming your floors or cleaning your floors, then you're just circulating that same stuff and you're just tracking it in every day over and over and over again. Man, I'm stuck in traffic. I don't know if this is gonna greatly prolong my journey. I mean, it's bad. I mean, I know it's like you're trying to show me a parking lot. I mean, it's the entire parking lot. I'm not talking about puddles here and there. I'm talking about this looks like a lake now. And I'm really hoping to go over there and it's like, oh, it's gone. Oh, well, because I can get my hair cut. So my road floods as well, especially when it rains. It hasn't flooded from that river overflowing, but it does flood when it rains. And it floods bad. So what they do to clear that up is they bring these big trucks that have like a huge vacuum with a tank on the back of the truck, and they pull those trucks up and they suck up all the water, and then they go like to the vents where it's supposed to drain out, and they stick something in there, and you know, they need to throw some Drano down that shit for real, and get rid of the problem once and for all. Why is it recurring? Like, why does it keep on happening? I'm trying something new to cook tonight. I'm gonna go the tofu route. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do that. So I'm gonna shred the tofu, put it on a pan, you know, have my oven already preheated, put oil on it and seasonings on it, and I'm gonna bake it. I'm gonna bake the tofu. It's gonna come out crispy, and then I'm gonna put that on a sandwich with lettuce and tomatoes and some like chipotle mayo. I wish I had some avocados too. That'll really set it off, but I'll go simple for now, I guess. I'll throw some onions on there, some red onions. Really kind of give it a little bit of flavor, a little bit of twang. Yeah, that's gonna be good. It's gonna be real good. First time trying it, so we'll see how that turns out. So this whole entire parking lot was flooded, and you can even see like the remnants of like the dirt and everything, the debris and everything. There's still some pockets of puddles and whatnot. But when I say the whole thing was flooded, the whole thing was flooded. All the way to those buildings over there, to these buildings over here, the whole thing was flooded. I'm sorry to disappoint, but guess what? I get to get my hair cut this weekend. So, you know what I mean? Okay, so you see some of the flood over here in the middle here. Well, it's a puddle now. Kind of sucks because it's barely anything flooded now. It's kind of lame. But yeah, you see how like all of that is, like the whole parking lot looked like this. That means my barber is about to be back in business if he's not already. So I'm definitely getting my hair cut this weekend. Like, it's a definite. We gonna get fresh. Cause this ain't it. This ain't it. So the question now is, why are they blocking the street off? So I think what they're trying to do is control the flow of traffic. If people come this back way to go where they trying to go, it's just gonna back this whole back way up, going in the opposite direction. It's already backed up coming this way. It's gonna back this whole back way up. I'm gonna show you what I mean by blocked off. I mean, they are serious. So I found this recipe, vegan recipe on Instagram. This is shredded tofu. I shredded it up with this cheese grater. And I've already got my, is it ciabatta or ciabatta? Somebody need to tell me because I don't know. But I got my bread. I'm gonna put this in the oven. I'm going to turn this into chicken. Yes. Put up some onions and tomatoes. I'll make a chipotle mayo. It's just a plant-based mayo spread. I'm gonna mix that up with some chipotle adobo juice, whatever you wanna call it. Vegan bacon here. This is where all that tofu is gonna go. Got a little bit of that. My chipotle, peppers and adobo sauce. And I got some Checkers fries that I'm gonna use to put on the side. Let's see how this turned out. Way less than I thought it would be. Anyways, I got my chipotle mayo, vegan of course. Got my tomatoes, my onions, and my lettuce. I got my shredded tofu and my bread, and behind me is my bacon. This is gonna be good. I'm trying to make content.
I'm dancing. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. I just don't like these little burnt parts. Yeah, that's burnt.
I'm not even see all that mess in the bag.
Not bad. This is real crispy. I shouldn't have left it in this long. Looking good. Now let's see. Let's try this sandwich real quick, bro. Because that's what I'm excited about, yo. Crispy tofu sandwich. Take one. Okay. It tastes healthy. The ciabatta bread, I think it's ciabatta, whatever. The bread really adds a great touch to it. Got fresh ingredients that adds a great touch to it. All right. That crispy tofu, because, you know, sometimes you got to take a few bites to get to the center. That tofu mixed with that bacon, mixed with that mayo, chipotle mayo, that is on point. Yeah, she's going to enjoy this when she gets back. It's probably the least that I've talked in this whole series so far. Yeah, I love it. All right, I'm about to enjoy this. Y'all don't need to watch me eat. Y'all really don't. One thing I will say is this. If you do anything, make sure that you eat and eat good. Eat good don't mean go to Ruth's Chris all the time. I mean, I'm vegan, so of course I'm a little biased for that particular place. But what I'm trying to say is you don't got to go fancy wine and dining all the time just to eat good. Take pride in what you're putting in your body. That's what I was saying earlier that I got from Hooters. I got that pride from Hooters. You know what I'm saying? When I was doing all of that, I used to, you know, really put my all into the presentation and into the quality of what I was what I was creating. This is so good. And every now and then you're gonna mess up. I actually expected to mess up tonight with this because it's the first time I made it. I'm gonna enjoy this and I'll report back to you.